What if I told you some cars didn't fail because they were bad but because the auto industry gave up on them? In 2025, several models quietly disappeared from showrooms. Not due to recalls or scandals, but because no one was buying them. Some had great tech, some had strong performance, and a few even looked like future best. So what went wrong? Was it pricing, bad timing, or a massive shift in what American buyers really want? Before you spend your money or write these cars off, there's a lot you need to know. By 2025, the US car market had changed faster than almost anyone expected. SUVs kept getting bigger, EVs became more common, and buyers grew far more selective about what they were willing to spend their money on. In the middle of that shift, several cars entered the market with big expectations but quietly missed the mark. These weren't no-name vehicles or unfinished products. They came from well-known brands, backed by years of development, and were designed to appeal to American buyers looking for style, technology, or efficiency. Some of these cars were meant to attract first-time EV buyers. Others targeted drivers who wanted something sportier, more premium, or more practical than the competition. On paper, many of them looked like solid choices. They had modern designs, competitive features, and brand names people already trusted. But once they hit dealerships, reality set in. Sales struggled, incentives piled up, and before long, automakers made a tough decision: pull the plug. What makes these cars interesting isn't just that they failed, it's why. In some cases, pricing put them out of reach. In others, they landed at the wrong moment, squeezed between better-known rivals or shifting buyer preferences. A few were victims of internal competition from their own brand's lineup. In this video, we're breaking down the cars the auto industry effectively walked away from in 2025 and the decisions that led to their downfall. Some of the reasons might surprise you, especially if you've ever considered buying one, and by the end, you'll see how close a few of these models were to getting it right. On the surface, these cars didn't look like failures at all. In fact, many of them launched with features that sounded perfect for the 2025 buyer. Sleek exterior designs replaced the boxy look of older models, with sharp LED lighting, sculpted body lines, and interiors that finally felt modern. Large digital displays became standard. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto were baked in, and driver assistance systems promised safer, more relaxed daily driving. Performance-wise, several of these cars actually impressed. Electric models delivered instant torque that felt quick off the line, especially in city driving. Gas-powered options focused on smooth, efficient engines rather than raw horsepower, making them comfortable commuters. Ride quality was tuned for American road, soft enough for long highways, but still controlled through corners. In everyday use, these cars felt good to drive, not cheap or unfinished. But this is where the cracks started to show. While the designs looked great in photos, some interiors didn't match their price tags once you sat inside. Hard plastics, awkward control layouts, and confusing infotainment menus made daily use more frustrating than it needed to be. Touch-sensitive buttons replaced physical controls in some models, saving money for manufacturers but irritating real drivers who just wanted simple volume knobs and climate controls. Then came the tech promises. Advanced driver assistance sounded impressive on paper, but in real-world driving, it was inconsistent. Lane-keeping systems that overcorrected, alerts that chimed too often, and software that felt unfinished hurt trust. For EVs, range numbers looked competitive, but real-world results dropped noticeably in cold weather or highway driving, making buyers hesitate. Pricing turned out to be the biggest problem of all. Many of these cars landed in an awkward middle ground. They were priced too high for budget buyers, yet not premium enough to compete with luxury brands. Some EVs cost nearly the same as more established rivals with better charging networks and stronger brand loyalty. Gas models struggled even more, competing against popular SUVs and trucks that offered more space and resale value for similar money. Sales slowed, incentives grew, lease deals got cheaper, and yet, buyers still walked past them on dealership lots. What really sealed their fate was internal competition. In some cases, automakers themselves offered better alternatives: newer SUVs, refreshed EVs, or updated models that made these cars feel unnecessary. Why choose the risky option when a safer, better-known model sat right next to it? By the time manufacturers realized what was happening, it was already too late. Production slowed, marketing faded, and rumors of discontinuation began circulating. And here's the surprising part. A few of these cars were very close to being hits. One pricing change, one feature upgrade, or better timing could have changed everything, which makes the final outcome even more frustrating. And that's exactly what we're breaking down next. When we lay out the biggest highlights, the biggest mistakes, and the hard lessons buyers should take away. This is the moment where everything finally comes together and where these cars reveal why they didn't survive. 2025. On a smooth stretch of highway, they feel refined, quiet, and comfortable. Acceleration is quick enough to impress passengers. The cabins stay calm at speed, and for a brief moment, it feels like the industry made a mistake letting them go. Then real life steps in. Push them harder, merge aggressively. Take a long road trip, or drive through rough city streets, and the compromises become impossible to ignore. Performance drops off when you ask for sustained power. Suspension tuning that felt comfortable at first now feels floaty and disconnected. In EVs, the range starts falling faster than expected. Forcing extra charging stops that instantly kill convenience. What looked great on paper suddenly feels average, even disappointing. The biggest shock isn't that these cars are bad, it's that they're almost good enough. In side-by-side comparisons, they lose by inches, not miles. A competitor accelerates just a bit quicker. Another offers better interior materials. One more delivers stronger resale value. And in today's market, almost isn't enough. That's the exact point where buyers walk away. Standing on a dealer lot, faced with multiple options at similar prices, most shoppers won't gamble. They choose the safer brand, the proven platform, the vehicle that feels like a smarter long-term bet. These cars fail the final test that matters most: confidence. That's the turning point. Not a single fatal flaw, but a collection of small misses that add up to one big decision. The auto industry didn't kill these cars overnight. Buyers did it slowly. One skipped test drive at a time, and that leaves one final question hanging in the air. If you can get one of these cars at a discount today, does that make it a smart buyer, a mistake you'll regret later? So where does that leave these cars in 2025? The final verdict is simple. They weren't failures because they were bad, they failed because they didn't fit the moment. Each one brought something genuinely good to the table. Smooth rides, modern styling, solid tech, and in some cases, strong performance. But in today's US market, being good isn't enough. You have to be the best choice at your price. And these cars just missed that mark. Asterisk for buyers who value comfort, quiet cabins, and everyday drivability. Some of these models can still make sense, especially if you find one heavily discounted or on a strong lease deal. EV shoppers who charge at home and don't rely on long road trips might actually appreciate the smooth power delivery and simpler ownership. But for buyers focused on resale value, long-term brand support, or the safest purchase possible, these cars carry more risk than reward. The bigger impact goes beyond these specific models. Their disappearance shows exactly where the market is heading. American buyers are choosing space, range, and brand confidence over experimentation. Automakers are learning sometimes the hard way that pricing, timing, and clarity matter just as much as innovation. The cars that survive are the ones that clearly earn their spot, not just exist beside better options. And that's the real lesson here. These cars weren't killed by one bad decision. They were squeezed out by a market that no longer tolerates uncertainty. Now the question is yours. If a car offers great value but no future, would you take the deal or walk away? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let us know which of these cars you'd still buy, and why. If this breakdown helped you see the market more clearly, hit like, subscribe for more honest car reviews, and we'll see you in the next one.